doing so. Well, hello, good morning. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to everybody. It is the middle of the week. I hope that you are being encouraged to get through, um, the rest of this week and the rest of your days. Holla if you have a second. If you got a minute to just kind of show up, let me know that you're seeing this. So, what is my purpose for being on today, real quick? Because I don't have a lot of time. It's always testing. For some apparent, unapparent reason, we are still running into a lot of challenges with some of the streaming spaces and just trying to figure that out. So sometimes you got to take a minute to do some testing just to kind of see what is actually going on. And so that's what I'm attempting to do now. Uh, just kind of see what's going on, see if there's something that we could do to help resolve some of these spaces. And so while I'm on, of course, I answer some questions and do some other things as it relates to that. So good morning to you. Uh, what is going on in the world? I did a previous one specifically on YouTube. Just again doing some testing again and just apologizing for not being able to get that stream up from last night because it sounds like Life Forum was really good and the conversation was really good. So what we do is we always record and then we will go ahead and get a copy of that up so that you all can see it. In these particular days, I'm so grateful for having or being a part of community, right? Because in community, there is no personality space. Now, I am of an era where there is a particular one person that was always in front of people, and that was the expectation that that same one person would be in front of people. But I am so glad that that is not the era that we're in today. We are not from a ministry perspective, we're not a personality driven ministry. And so we don't encourage people responding just to one person because we all need each other. And so I think Life Forum reflects that in so many different ways, which I'm grateful for. And it also takes the demand off of me to have to always be available, especially now because I cannot be. Right now, I'm at a work site. When I get home, I'll be in school studies. Uh, I do this 6 days a week. I still run my private business one day out of the week and do maintenance for ministry things as well. And so then, we have children. I have a husband. We have a child who has unique special gifts that we need to tend to as well. And so there's a lot of things that are on my plate, right? And as a person, and maybe that'll be my conversation, right? As a person, I don't want to have to be in 10,000 different spaces because as much as I can multitask, I should not. Have you ever been in a position where you just had to say to yourself, I need to not multitask during this season? I need to slow down and I need to focus. And that thought in itself can be a huge ministry, not just to other people, but to yourself. And so for me, in this season, with everything that is riding on the demand on my life as a person, there are some spaces that need to just be able to put a pause on so that I can have focal attention in another area. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think sometimes people who are high achieving struggle with disappointing people. And I can understand that because it's probably a part of how I respond. I respond in not being able to serve who I am or feel like I'm called to serve. And I'm a person who serves humanity. My mother was a clinician, my sisters are clinicians. We serve in some capacity, but there are internal spaces that require boundaries. And it's not because we don't love people, but if we don't focus, we won't preserve ourselves either. And so this is just one of those seasons, one of those spaces where I believe that we're really, I am, let me say I am really being challenged to understand that multitasking is not necessary, and honing in on the focus of what this season really requires is, interestingly enough, because this is such a high stimulating season, stimulation, overstimulation. What do I mean by that? We are overstimulated by society. We are overstimulated in social media. Social media took us by storm, right? We were nosy people before social media, but oh my goodness, social media makes it so much easier to engage in our nosiness, right? We're watching for the next story, we're watching for the next event, we're watching for what's in somebody else's world, and you have no idea how much you have stopped focusing on yourself. And then when there's some neglect, when there's some deficiency, when there's some vulnerability, when there is this, how did I get here? You have to come to grips with the fact that you have watched your life go away from you by constantly paying attention to other people's lives. So social media, it's a wonderful thing, right? The way of the internet, the World Wide Web, it can engulf you and add to you losing focus in the areas that you need to focus on. So sometimes, and here's what I think as a clinician, right? As a mental health clinician, that in a lot of ways, there are people that probably don't have attention deficit disorders, but by the time the pandemic came, attention deficit became more dominant because now we have put our energy in spaces that now have us so stimulated, overstimulated, till now we can't manage our own focal ability, our anxieties, our trigger responses, or even impulsivity. And so, with that, everybody is just kind of like heightened, hyper, anxious. Listen, I go into the grocery store now and people are just, they won't even look at in your eyes anymore. they they walk past you because they're quickly on to the next thing. They want things to move fast. They want things to be fast. They want things to be in a moment's notice. And so the patience of the world has dwindled a lot. Yes. And some of you probably may be seeing it. It's dwindled a lot. And it is causing us to have some trouble because when we don't have patience, we have a lot of irritability. And irritability can set us up to have some really bad relationships, cause us to make some really bad decisions. And quite frankly, for a lot of individuals, specifically adults, it'll cause us to tantrum about things that we would have never considered tantruming about before because we understand the way of life. The way of life is a flow. It is, it's a flow. It's a way of life. We're gonna flow with it. Some things will happen quickly in seasons and some things will not. And we flow with that. And so I hope now that I'm doing this testing, somebody's going to respond to me and let me know. First of all, hopefully that you can see everything well on both platforms. Okay, because we've got a couple of platforms that we're streaming on right now that you can at least let me know and see. But on top of that, more importantly, my prayer is that you would consider this quick conversation and say to yourself, in what areas can I slow down just to engage with myself? In what ways can I slow down just to engage with myself, to be at peace with myself, to be at peace in myself? And take the pause. The pause is not a whole hour. This pause right now that I'm taking with you is really just 5 or 10 seconds. It feels long, but it's not. And you deserve a pause every now and again. So, yep, I'm falling into my read a storybook voice. So let me get out of that because I got people to see and more things to do. Listen, have a great, amazing, and blessed day. It is Wednesday. We're going to get to Friday. We're going to get to Friday. We're going to get to Thursday. We're going to get to Saturday. And we're going to do it again and keep working, progressing towards whatever purpose or goal that we have in our minds for us. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Wednesday afternoon. Listen, pipe back. Let me know if this inspired you in a little bit, in a little way. It was just a few seconds. Hopefully, it gave you just enough of a boost that you needed in order to continue with your day. And share this page. If you're on the Facebook side, you can certainly share it. I think it's my private page, so you can share the Coach She page. There is a Coach She page on Facebook, although I think that they're getting ready to delete it for some reason. Who knows? I don't know what Facebook is doing right now. So if it's up and you want to get connected, I do still post over there. So our private page is here as well. The Evolution Church is on Facebook as well. You can go over there and join. If you're on the Evolution Church SOFLO page on YouTube, thank you for being a subscriber there. There's also some content on the Coach She YouTube page, so you can become a subscriber there. And next month is Mental Health Awareness Month, so I'm going to try my best to put out some content over there so that you can see some things and stay connected to whatever you see us doing, right? Because we've got the Evolution Church SOFLO, that's that spirituality, mentality, creative art space. We've got the Coach She specific brand for mental health consulting, coaching, and counseling. This is a lot of things, and they're wrapped up in each other, which is a great thing. So it's a lot of stuff everywhere. So grab some hold of it, okay? Have a wonderful Wednesday again, and thanks for joining me during this test time. Take care.